What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal. Some people call me Little Baller. I'm your results and transformation coach. And on this channel, we talk about total transformation, mind, body, and soul. And in this video today, we're going to talk about this soul because God knows. Woof, let me just tell you, to me, that's number one when we talk about mind, body, and soul. Like, we got to have our soul right and together. And today, anytime I read or see a quote that resonate with me, I always repost it and share it. So the quote for today was, delayed does not mean denied. And when I tell y'all, I've been praying and just like really talking to God. I really need him to come through with some things. And when I read the quote today, it just really encouraged my heart. Delayed does not mean denied. So what does that mean, Crystal? You just got to hold on just a little while longer and just be a little bit more patient with yourself, and then continue to trust God in the waiting period. So I am learning. Anybody out there ever pray for patience and then God give you those things and make you have more patience? That's just a season that I'm in right now. I know God is God. I will say, no matter what I am going through, at the end of the day, God is still God. And that's one thing that we get to remember, whether we're going through a storm, whether we're going through the rain, whether it's sunshine, because sometimes we as a people tend to be grateful and fired up and excited when the sun is shining. But when we're going through the storm, we get a little weary sometimes. And, I just, in those moments, always want to remember that God is still God, and like he's still reigning, he's still blessing, he's still doing what it is that he do. And when I read the quote, delayed does not mean denied, it just hit me different. And I was like, okay, Lord, I hear you. Just hold on just a little while longer. And then anytime too, whenever I get anytime I see a quote like that and it's something that really resonate with me, because when I tell y'all I've been praying for some things, I'm like, Lord, show me, guide me, lead me, teach me, just really just wanting to hear from him. And when those messages come through, I'd be like, I might be the only one, but I'd be like, all right, Lord, I hear you. And then I like to go to the word and, pair it with scripture to encourage me a little bit more, to show me, like, again, like I'll never forget that who God is. So hopefully I'm saying this properly, and not confusing you. But anyway, when I went to the word, right, and I got my notes right here, shout out to me, because normally I come on here without my notes. But I had to read scripture. And the first one, when you read it, it just, I don't know, you ever read a scripture and you just like, your soul just shake on the inside? And let us, is Galatians 6:9, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Delayed does not mean denied. In due season, we will reap if we faint not. And, again, I'm like, girl, just continue to do what you're doing. Continue to have faith. Continue to trust your process. Continue to trust God. Continue to just, you know, to just trust and believe. And it's not always easy. I'll be the first person to say that. A lot of times we'll meet folks and they'll share their story, and we'll talk about how we have faith in God. And I used to think anyway that when people had faith or spiritual, that they just had it all together. Not, now that I'm a little bit more seasoned, I realize, talking to people, that everybody don't always have it all together. Like, this is a forever thing. Wash, rinse, repeat. Prayer, fasting, gratitude, uh, gratefulness, like whatever word you want to put in there. You just don't wake up one day and just say, "Hey, I want to serve the Lord," and you're doing good and everything, and it's going to be roses and sunshine. Because that's what I used to think until life started lifing. And I really think it has its place though, because, and I shared this the other day. I was saying how, can you imagine if like God gave us the desires of our heart every time we ask for it, and everything was just good from then until now. If there's people that have been blessed in that way, great. And I'm not saying that it's not possible, but for some of us, you know, we'll start to do things in our own might, in our own power. And I do remember myself being, one time in my life, I was praying, I was fasting, I was seeking, I was just, communicating with God, and He was just showing me, he was blessing me, and the windows was open, and he was pouring me out blessings that I didn't have enough room to receive. So many blessings. I'm just like the blessing giver. Here, here, here. You, to know me is to know I'm always giving. And then you have the season where you're like, is there even a window there? But what I've learned too was that, God will start blessing us so that we become wise, too wise anyway, for our own good. And what I mean by that is when we start to stop depending on God, to me, not to me, let me say that better. When we stop depending on God, I think that's a scary place to be. If you remember the story about Peter when he walked on water, he had his eyes on God, he was walking on water. The moment he took his eyes off God, he started to sink. Same way with Peter, same thing happened to Crystal. And and you really get if you don't catch it right away, your head be underwater, and you be like, why are you underwater? Because you took your eyes off God, because and that's something that I've lived, so I can talk about it. So when the scripture says, and let us not be weary in well doing, because we will reap if we faint not, we just got to hold on just a little while longer. Delayed does not mean denied. And then I had Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, and they shall mount up with wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. I could just bust out crying right now, and I'm dead serious. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So even in a waiting, and when it says, those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, how do we renew our strength? Well, I can share how I renew mine. Y'all gonna hear me talk about fasting and praying a lot. And it's funny because we have this thing going around with my friends where some people be like, well, you do the fasting and I'll do the praying. Fasting to me is where you really get the butter from the duck and the breakthrough. Because we all can pray, but when it comes to fasting, separating yourself from people. When I fast, I typically go 24 hours, no food, no drink, anoint my head, say my prayer, and then I'll go into my spiritual fast and keep my conversations to a minimum as much as possible. The flesh ain't trying to do that. Like, the flesh is not even trying to do intermittent fasting. When I'm like, I'm gonna eat for 8 hours and fast for 16, my flesh be like, and it's crazy. It's all in your mind anyway. But nonetheless. And then I had my last scripture is Psalms 27:14. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thy heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Not on Crystal, not on your friends, not on your neighbors, not on your spouse, not on your family, not on your job. It says, wait, I say, on the Lord. It's a big difference. So I'm truly grateful for where I am in life right now. I just, like I said, I'm pressing, I'm praying, I'm fasting. I just really am waiting for my breakthrough to come. And so that really resonated with me. I'm grateful for that. Delayed does not mean denied. So if there's anyone out there, I just want to say be encouraged. Continue to trust God, trust yourself, trust your process, and just hold on to God's unchanging hand. So with that being said, if you're into the total transformation, mind, body, and soul, mindset is everything to me. Body, we talk about nutrition and fitness, and soul is your spirit, and that's like the anchor, and the connect. We can connect all three of those. I believe that when we work on all three of those, we get to become the best version of ourselves. So I pray that you have the most amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.